Welcome back to Athletic Avengers. Today, we're breaking down Deontay Wilder's 7th-round TKO win over Herndon on June 27, 2025, in Wichita, Kansas. Was this a comeback for the Bronze Bomber or a sign he's past his prime? We'll analyze the fight, critique Wilder's boxing fundamentals, question if he's washed and should retire, and look at what's next. Let's dive in! Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Deontay Wilder, now 44-4-1 with 43 knockouts, stepped into the ring against Herndon, a 37-year-old journeyman with a 24-6 record at Charles Koch Arena. Coming off back-to-back losses to Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang, this was Wilder's chance to shake off ring rust and rebuild momentum. He got the win, but it wasn't the vintage Wilder knockout fest we're used to. Round 1 saw Wilder control the pace with his jab, keeping Herndon at a distance. Herndon, wary of Wilder's right hand, stayed defensive, throwing little. In round 2, Wilder landed a crisp left hook, catching Herndon off balance for a flash knockdown. It wasn't a power shot, but it showed Wilder's intent. Rounds 3 to 5 were one-sided. Wilder peppered Herndon with jabs and hooks, while Herndon struggled to respond, looking outmatched. By round 6, Herndon was fading, and Wilder dropped him again with a series of body and head shots. In round 7, Wilder closed the show with 2 clean right hands, forcing the referee to stop it at 2:16. Wilder landed 48% of his power punches compared to Herndon's 19% per CompuBox and threw 320 total punches to Herndon's 180. It was a controlled performance, but Herndon, with only 63% KO ratio, was clearly a step below Wilder's elite opponents. This felt like a tune-up, not a statement. Let's talk Wilder's fundamentals, or lack thereof. Deontay Wilder has always been a raw talent, relying on his freakish power and that devastating right hand. But at 39, his limitations are glaring. His jab in this fight was decent, used to set up his left hook and keep Herndon at bay, but it's still stiff and lacks the snap of elite boxers like Anthony Joshua. His footwork, sloppy as ever. Wilder often stands flat-footed, crossing his feet when moving, which makes him vulnerable to counters, something Herndon was too outmatched to exploit. Wilder's defense is another weak spot. He keeps his hands low, relying on his height and reach to avoid punches, but against top-tier fighters, this gets him clipped. We saw it in the Fury trilogy, and against Zhang, Wilder's chin isn't what it used to be, and his head movement is non-existent. His left hook looked sharper here, landing 22 times per CompuBox, but it's not a game-changer against elite heavyweights. The biggest critique? Wilder hasn't evolved. Since his 2008 pro debut, he's leaned on his power to bail him out, never developing the boxing IQ or versatility to compete with technically sound fighters. Compare him to someone like Oleksandr Usyk, who's mastered footwork and angles. Wilder's still a one-trick pony, and that trick's losing its magic. Is Deontay Wilder washed? The signs are there. At 39, he's coming off 2 brutal losses, a unanimous decision to Parker in 2023 and a 5th-round KO to Zhang in 2024. His speed and reflexes aren't what they were in his prime, when he was flattening guys like Dominic Breazeale. Against Herndon, he looked sluggish at times, taking until round 7 to finish a journeyman who'd never faced anyone near Wilder's level. Wilder's power is still elite, those right hands in round 7 proved it, but his durability is suspect, and he's not getting any younger. The heavyweight division is stacked with younger, hungrier fighters like Jared Anderson or Daniel Dubois who'd exploit his defensive flaws. Retiring might be the smart move. Wilder's a former WBC champ with a Hall of Fame career and millions in the bank. Risking more damage against top-tier opponents could tarnish his legacy. Hanging up the gloves now after a win would let him go out on his terms. So what's next? Wilder's team hinted at more fights in 2025, possibly another tune-up before targeting a bigger name. A domestic clash with Jared Anderson could draw fans, but Anderson's speed and youth would be a nightmare for Wilder. Martin Bicoli, coming off a win over Carlos Takam, is another option, but his durability could test Wilder's fading gas tank. A long-shot rematch with Joseph Parker might be on the table, though Parker's boxing skills outclassed Wilder last time. Realistically, Wilder should avoid the division's elite Usyk, Fury, Joshua because his flaws are too exposed against them. Another fight against a mid-tier opponent like Herndon might keep him active, but it won't prove anything. If Wilder wants to keep going, he needs to pick fights carefully or risk more losses that cement the washed narrative. That's our breakdown of Wilder versus Herndon. The Bronze Bomber got the win, but his fundamentals haven't improved, and the washed talk isn't going away. Should he retire or keep swinging for one last run? Let us know in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more fight breakdowns and analysis. Athletic Avengers, we're out!